My dear, beautiful seniors, this is a conversation straight from my heart to yours. Today, we're not just talking, we're transforming. Yes, you heard me right, because no matter where you are in life, whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, this truth remains. Your greatest power lies in the courage to face yourself and rise. Now, I want you to lean in, because I know something about rebuilding. I was born into poverty, raised by a grandmother who scrubbed floors, and told by the world that my dreams were too big. But here's what I learned. Every setback, every no, every time life tried to shrink me, it was preparing me for a comeback. And that, my friends, is your story too. This isn't about age, it's about wisdom. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I am still here. And I choose to grow, because rebuilding, oh, honey, it starts within. It starts when you silence that voice that whispers it's too late and replace it with, I am ready. So today we're going to talk about discipline, about owning your time, about looking fear in the face and saying, move, because I have living to do. Because seniors, you are not relics, you are legends. And legends, they don't retire, they reign. Self-discipline serves as the cornerstone of all personal development and change. It isn't about depriving yourself of joy or embracing a rigid existence, but rather cultivating the resolve and command to steer your behavior toward what genuinely holds value. If you seek to reinvent yourself or your circumstances, self-discipline is the essential first step. In today's world, diversions are infinite. Social platforms, screens, idle amusements, even those close to us. There's always something vying for our focus, something that invites delay or scatters our concentration. Yet, with self-discipline, you refuse to let outside influences dictate your time or vitality. You reclaim authority over your existence by choosing where to invest your attention and energy. That's the true strength of self-discipline. It restores the reins of your life to you. Self-discipline isn't achieved in an instant. It's akin to a muscle. You must cultivate it gradually through regular effort and dedication. Picture beginning a new workout routine. On day one, your enthusiasm might be strong, but what occurs when that initial energy fades? What happens when you wake up exhausted, aching, and lacking drive? This is when self-discipline takes over. It's the inner strength that pushes you forward even when you'd rather stay still. Self-discipline is the silent power that keeps you devoted long after the excitement disappears. The remarkable thing about self-discipline is that it ensures you remain steady. You won't always feel driven, and that's normal. The reality is, inspiration comes and goes, discipline remains constant. Those who truly transform themselves don't depend only on sudden bursts of motivation. They lean on the routines they've established through discipline. It's about taking action no matter how you feel in the moment. That steadiness builds momentum, and that momentum drives enduring transformation. Think about how easily emotions can disrupt progress. A rough day at work might tempt you to skip the gym. An argument with a friend could make you discard your self-improvement goals. But with self-discipline, you train yourself to detach your feelings from your behavior. You understand that your emotions, though significant, shouldn't always control your actions. Self-discipline helps you move beyond temporary impulses and remain aligned with your long-term goals. Consider those who have succeeded, people who rebuilt their lives after setbacks, hardships, or even after reaching success but needing to pivot. What unites them? It isn't that they never encounter obstacles or desires. It's that they've honed the skill of self-discipline. They've trained themselves to resist distractions even when it's appealing and to stay devoted to their purpose even when the path becomes difficult. However, self-discipline isn't about being ruthless with yourself. It's not about driving yourself to exhaustion or being excessively hard on yourself when you falter. Genuine self-discipline involves self-kindness. It means establishing achievable goals, showing yourself grace when you stumble, and then refocusing. Discipline is understanding that obstacles are inevitable, but choosing not to let them determine your growth. You rise, you continue, pick yourself up, brush off the dirt, and move forward. Another key part of self-discipline is how it brings balance to your life. Though discipline demands giving things up, it also lets you live more fully and with greater purpose. When you master your impulses, you become more efficient, less anxious, and more focused on what truly counts. You may give up short-term joys like endlessly browsing social media or giving into bad habits, but what you gain in exchange is far more valuable: growth, self-worth, and the pride of achievement. Self-discipline allows you to develop the routines that lead to lasting success. These routines are the foundation of your life. They define who you are and shape what lies ahead. By training yourself to adopt good habits, whether it's reading every day, staying active, or steadily working toward your ambitions, you build a framework that fosters improvement. Over time, these small, consistent efforts add up, delivering outcomes far beyond what sporadic effort could ever accomplish. Effort is necessary, but the key lies in cultivating self-discipline, which calls for a change in perspective. It means choosing what benefits your future self over immediate pleasures. Yielding to momentary temptations may seem appealing, but true fulfillment stems from the enduring rewards of dedication. Self-discipline involves sacrificing short-term satisfaction for greater long-term gains. By enduring temporary hardships with resolve, you pave the way for sustained achievement. Self-discipline is, at its core, about liberation, breaking free from the patterns, diversions, and urges that hinder progress. It's about steering your life with intention, directing your efforts toward meaningful goals, and possessing the resilience to remain steadfast despite obstacles. Reinventing yourself isn't a passive endeavor. It demands purposeful action, unwavering persistence, and a dedication to self-improvement. Self-discipline is the foundation of this change. Master yourself through discipline, and you will emerge stronger than before. Fear stands as one of the most formidable barriers to reaching our highest potential. It acts as an unseen restraint, stopping us from taking chances, exploring new paths, and venturing beyond what feels safe. Yet the reality is this: if you seek growth, if you aim to rebuild yourself, you must shatter fear's grip. Fear is a natural feeling, something everyone encounters. But what separates those who thrive from those who remain stagnant is their response to it. First, it's crucial to understand that fear itself isn't the adversary. It serves a function to shield us from harm. The issue, however, is that in today's world, fear often responds to perceived threats that aren't truly dangerous, but simply unfamiliar or uneasy. We fear falling short, being rejected, facing humiliation, or even attaining success. Rather than safeguarding us, these fears confine us, blocking us from seizing chances that could redefine our lives. To overcome, you must face your fears directly. You cannot let them control your choices or shape your journey. Begin by recognizing what exactly frightens you. Is it the dread of failing, the worry about others' opinions, or maybe the insecurity of not being enough? Admitting your fears is the initial move toward liberation. Many shy away from confronting their fears because it feels uneasy, but the more you evade them, the stronger their grip becomes. Exposing your fears weakens their hold. After pinpointing your fears, the next stage is to question them. Consider, what is the absolute worst outcome? Frequently, the anxiety around failing is far more intense than the actual experience of failure. We imagine exaggerated, disastrous outcomes in our minds, yet in truth, most failures are far from ruinous. In many cases, they mark the start of something new. Failure is inevitable. It's a natural part of progress. The quicker you realize that failure isn't something to dread, but rather a lesson to grow from, the faster you can advance, unshackled by fear. Then there's the fear of being judged, the concern over what people might say or think if you take a chance and stumble. This fear is it's common. But you should keep in mind that the opinions of others shouldn't dictate how you live. Often people are so caught up in their own lives that they aren't focusing on you as much as you believe. And even if they are, their views don't define your value or your future. You must live for yourself, not for the validation of others. The dread of being judged is just another barrier that stops you from achieving your potential. Another fear that traps people is the fear of venturing into the unknown. Change is intimidating. The familiar, even if it's not where you truly belong, feels secure. But growth doesn't occur in comfort. It happens when you embrace uncertainty, take chances, and challenge yourself beyond your limits. To break free from fear means acknowledging that the way ahead might be uncertain, but believing in your ability to endure and adapt. You won't have everything figured out immediately, and that's fine. What counts is that you continue progressing even when fear tries to drag you backward. Bravery isn't the lack of fear, it's moving forward despite it. Each time you confront your fear and take action anyway, you loosen its grip. It's like a muscle. The more you practice courage, the stronger it grows. Eventually, the fears that once froze you will feel less overwhelming. You'll gain confidence, not because fear disappears, but because you've proven to yourself that you can overcome it. Fear also narrows your perspective. When fear controls you, your world shrinks. You cling to the familiar and stop seeking new chances. But when you escape fear, you unlock a world of potential. You begin to recognize opportunities where you once saw barriers. You become more inventive, more daring, and more receptive to new experiences. Fear restricts your sight. Courage expands it. One of the most effective methods to shatter the grip of fear is to move forward with action. Fear grows stronger through hesitation. The longer you evade something, the more intimidating it seems in your thoughts. Yet, by taking even the slightest step toward what frightens you, you begin to dismantle its power. Action generates momentum, and that momentum fuels confidence. Every move you make, no matter how minor, is a triumph over fear. To break free from fear's hold demands both patience and perseverance. Fear doesn't vanish instantly. It's a journey that calls for steady dedication. There will be times when fear resurfaces, when uncertainty clouds your judgment. In those moments, reflect on the progress you've already made. Recognize that each stride away from fear is a step closer to liberation and self-improvement. Fear is an inevitable part of existence, but it doesn't have to dictate your path. When you escape fear's restraints, you unlock boundless opportunities. Challenges transform into chances for growth, and you cultivate the resilience needed to reshape yourself into the person you are destined to become. Welcome the unease that fear brings, confront it directly, and seize command of your life. Beyond fear, you'll discover the liberty to reinvent yourself and craft the future you envision. Accountability stands as one of the most powerful instruments for personal development and self-reinvention. It's simple to make vows, set objectives, and declare intentions to change, but without accountability, these plans often crumble. To genuinely rebuild yourself, you must fully accept responsibility for your choices and deeds. Accountability connects your decisions to your outcomes, serving as the link between what you aim for and what you actually achieve. It demands honesty with yourself and establishes a framework that pushes you toward higher expectations. Being accountable means owning every part of your life, your victories, your mistakes, your growth, and your struggles. It's the realization that although outside forces may affect your circumstances, the decisions you make within those conditions determine your journey. Many people attribute their lack of advancement to their surroundings, their background, or other individuals. They fault the economy, their upbringing, or misfortune. However, the instant you shift blame to external factors, you surrender your ability to transform your life. Accountability is about taking back that control. It's acknowledging that your responses to obstacles are within your power. A crucial element of accountability is self-awareness. You can't take charge of your life without recognizing where you currently stand. This involves facing the truth about your abilities, shortcomings, tendencies, and behavioral cycles. It isn't always comfortable to confront the reality that you've been delaying tasks, shying away from effort, or allowing fear to steer your choices. Yet accountability demands this level of honesty. It's a practice of introspection where you evaluate your behavior and ask, am I doing all I can to progress, or am I standing in my own way? Accountability also hinges on consistency. Occasional responsibility isn't enough. If you're committed to rebuilding yourself, you must develop the practice of frequently assessing your progress and adapting as needed. This might involve daily journaling, weekly planning meetings, or partnering with someone who keeps you accountable, a person who monitors your progress and ensures you stay true to your commitments. When you consistently hold yourself responsible, you build momentum. You no longer justify why you didn't take action, but instead concentrate on ways to grow. Over time, this steady effort accumulates, resulting in meaningful and enduring transformation. Another crucial benefit of accountability is that it keeps you connected to your core values and long-term aspirations. Amid the busyness of daily life, it's easy to become sidetracked or act on fleeting impulses. However, when you hold yourself accountable, you continually revisit your larger purpose. It prompts you to question, is what I'm doing today moving me closer to the person I aim to be tomorrow? Accountability ensures you stay committed to the long-term journey, steering you away from momentary pleasures and toward deeper satisfaction. When you fully take ownership of your life, you no longer depend on outside validation or approval. Too often we seek reassurance from others, waiting for someone to affirm we're on the right path or to grant us permission to chase our ambitions. Accountability, however, fosters self-trust. You stop seeking others' endorsement because your actions reflect your integrity. You become your strongest supporter, letting your inner guidance direct your choices instead of external opinions or pressures. Accountability doesn't demand perfection. Mistakes will happen and you will face setbacks happen. But when you take responsibility for yourself, you grow from those errors rather than letting them become a reason to quit. Being accountable builds resilience, making you less intimidated by failure because you understand that no matter what happens, you control your reaction. This change in perspective is essential for personal growth. Instead of dreading difficulties or setbacks, you welcome them as chances to improve and evolve. Another vital part of accountability is discipline. To stay accountable, you need the self-control to stick to your promises, even when it's tough. Discipline and accountability are intertwined because without discipline, accountability loses its meaning. Setting goals is simple, but maintaining steady effort toward them requires discipline. Accountability keeps you on track when motivation fades or challenges appear, driving you forward when quitting seems tempting. One of the most powerful effects of accountability is how it strengthens self-respect. Each time you hold yourself accountable and keep your commitments, you prove to yourself that you're reliable and competent. You start viewing yourself as someone who keeps their word, not just to others, but to yourself. This self-respect boosts your confidence and reinforces your determination, creating a positive cycle. The more accountable you are, the more you trust in your ability to succeed. Accountability gives you control over your path. When you fully own your life, you stop expecting others to rescue you or provide the opportunities you seek. You understand that it's your responsibility to build the life you desire. This sense of control is incredibly motivating because it shifts your focus from what's beyond your influence to what you can change. Instead of feeling trapped by your situation, you recognize that your decisions and actions have the power to reshape it. Accountability is the cornerstone of rebuilding yourself. It keeps you rooted in reality, drives you to act consistently, and ensures you remain focused on your objectives. It compels you to face your shortcomings while also acknowledging your achievements. When you fully take charge of your life, you unleash your capacity to evolve, change, and rebuild into the finest version of yourself. Establishing a sturdy foundation is vital for lasting personal development and success. Much like building a house, the foundation is the most critical element. It upholds everything that follows. Without a solid base, even the most stunning designs will eventually collapse. The same logic applies to your life. If you wish to reinvent yourself, you must begin with a resilient foundation capable of enduring obstacles, setbacks, and the unavoidable hardships that accompany meaningful transformation. A strong foundation starts with clarity. You must have a precise understanding of what you're working toward. What is your personal vision? What do you aspire to accomplish? Who do you want to be? This clarity provides direction and purpose. Without it, you'll wander without focus, shifting from one aim to another, without substantial progress. Dedicate time to outline your long-term objectives and grasp their significance. This vision will act as your guide, steering you through the highs and lows of your journey. Once clarity is established, the next step in creating a solid foundation is defining clear, actionable goals. These goals should be specific, measurable, and attainable. Simply stating, "I want to be successful" or "I want to be happier" isn't enough. You must break these broad desires into practical steps. For instance, if your aim is to enhance your physical health, set precise targets like working out 3 times a week, eating healthier meals, or ensuring 8 hours of sleep nightly. These smaller, well-defined goals will maintain your focus and help you build momentum. Equally important to cultivate the right habits, as they serve as the fundamental building blocks of your foundation. Your habits dictate your daily behaviors, and over time, those behaviors define the course of your life. When you establish strong, constructive habits such as discipline, effective time management, consistent exercise, ongoing education, and mindfulness, your foundation becomes sturdy, able to uphold the weight of your aspirations. Conversely, if your habits are fragile or harmful, meaningful progress will remain elusive. Regardless of how well defined your objectives are, consistency is the crucial factor. Small, repeated actions accumulate into significant outcomes over time. Prioritize forming habits that support your long-term vision and reinforce your foundation each day. Your mindset is another vital element of a solid foundation. Your thoughts influence everything: your beliefs, actions, and ultimately your results. A mindset rooted in fear, self-doubt, or pessimism will weaken your efforts to evolve and rebuild. In contrast, a growth-oriented mindset, one that welcomes challenges, learns from setbacks, and trusts in the possibility of progress, will fuel your perseverance even in difficult circumstances. Developing a growth mindset requires practice, but it's among the most worthwhile investments you can make in yourself. It provides the resilience and flexibility necessary to navigate obstacles and keep strengthening your foundation when challenges arise. Self-discipline is another cornerstone of a strong foundation. It's what propels you forward when motivation dwindles, the ability to stay dedicated to your objectives even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Self-discipline separates those who attain enduring success and those who fall short, differ in one key aspect. Motivation is temporary. It's simple to feel enthusiastic at the start of a journey, but that initial fervor fades with time. Discipline, however, remains steady. It's what drives you to persist daily, putting in effort even when your enthusiasm wanes. By developing self-discipline, you guarantee that your core stays solid, allowing you to move forward. Regardless of the situation, your network of support is another essential piece of your foundation. No one accomplishes anything entirely alone. The individuals around you significantly influence your capacity to evolve and recover. Look for those who push and motivate you, who keep you responsible and encourage your ambitions. These are the ones who will raise you up when you're disheartened and urge you forward when you're ready to quit. A reliable support system reinforces your foundation, providing steadiness in times of hesitation or unpredictability. Equally important is distancing yourself from those who sap your energy or lead you astray. Safeguarding your surroundings is vital to preserving the resilience of your foundation. Another factor that fortifies your foundation is the readiness to learn and adjust. Life is ever-changing, and the road to self-improvement is seldom straight. There will be obstacles, unforeseen difficulties, and fresh chances that demand a shift in strategy. A fixed mindset will hinder your ability to maneuver through these shifts, but if you remain open to learning from your experiences and adapting as necessary, you keep a firm base even when the world around you changes. Ongoing learning, whether by reading, finding guidance, or gaining practical experience, ensures your foundation stays sturdy and your growth continues steadily. Patience is another key part of a solid foundation. Reinventing yourself isn't a fast journey, and meaningful change requires time. Just as a home isn't constructed in a day, you can't expect to reshape your life in an instant. Recognize that progress is usually gradual and step by step. You may not notice quick results, but that doesn't mean your foundation isn't strengthening. Have faith in the process and remain dedicated to the long-term path. Patience helps you stay focused on the broader vision and prevents the discouragement or exhaustion that comes from expecting too much too soon. Self-belief is the bedrock of any strong foundation. You need to trust in your ability to evolve and improve. Without this conviction, everything else falls apart. Confidence in your power to rebuild is what keeps you moving forward when obstacles arise. It's what enables you to take chances, tackle difficulties, and endure discomfort. This faith isn't about pride or blind certainty. It's about believing in your potential and knowing that with persistence and hard work, you can build the life you desire. A strong foundation is what enables you to reconstruct yourself in a lasting way. It provides the steadiness and resilience required to endure life's challenges and keep evolving even when faced with difficulties. By emphasizing clarity, habits, mindset, discipline, support, adaptability, patience, and self-belief, you establish the basis for enduring personal change. With a strong foundation, you are prepared to reshape yourself into the person you aspire to be and craft a life that reflects your truest values and ambitions. Confronting your fears is among the most crucial steps in personal development and transformation. Fear is a natural human emotion, and it can act as both an obstacle and a driving force. Yet, too often, fear traps us in a pattern of hesitation, stopping us from achieving our fullest potential. When you are striving to rebuild yourself, facing and conquering your fears is vital to breaking free from constraints and advancing in life. To rebuild, you must learn not just to confront fear, but to harness it as a means for growth and self-betterment. Fear appears in many ways. It might be the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, or even the fear of success. No matter which fear you are grappling with, the outcome is frequently the same: stagnation. Fear prevents you from taking the risks necessary for growth. It keeps you in a safe space, but that safety often comes at the cost of progress. To rebuild yourself, you must be willing to move beyond your comfort zone and into uncertainty, even when it feels uneasy or frightening. The initial step in facing your fears is recognizing them. Many people live their lives without fully grasping how fear influences their choices. They make justifications, delay, or rationalize their fear. The true root of hesitation. To acknowledge your fears demands self-awareness and honesty. You must be willing to examine your life and ask, what am I truly afraid of? What's keeping me stuck? This can be challenging, as fear frequently masks itself as practicality or caution. Yet once you pinpoint your fears, you can confront them directly. Confronting fear isn't about erasing it entirely. Fear will always linger in some way, and that's natural. The aim is to reshape your relationship with it. Rather than treating fear as something to evade, you start seeing it as a chance to grow. Each time you face a fear, your comfort zone expands, and those fears gradually lose their power. Over time, you develop confidence in navigating challenges and uncertainty, a crucial part of rebuilding yourself. One of the most powerful ways to tackle fear is through action. Fear thrives on inaction. The more you avoid what scares you, the more it grows. But by taking steps, even small ones, you weaken fear's grip. Action is empowering because it shows you that fear isn't as overwhelming as it appears. It redirects your focus from potential failures to what you can accomplish in the present. For instance, if public speaking terrifies you, joining a small event or practicing with friends moves you closer to overcoming that fear. Every action, no matter how minor, builds momentum, helping you push forward despite fear. One essential part of confronting your fears is accepting failure as part of the journey. Fear of failure is among the most widespread anxieties that prevent people from moving forward. The thought of attempting something and falling short can feel paralyzing, yet failure is an unavoidable aspect of progress. No one transforms themselves or reaches their goals without facing obstacles along the way. By shifting your perspective on failure, seeing it not as a dead end but as a stepping stone, you strip it of much of its control. Failure transforms into a lesson, a vital part of the journey that strengthens your resilience. Accepting failure empowers you to take chances, knowing that even if things don't unfold as expected, you're still advancing. Another key factor in dealing with fears is recognizing that fear is frequently rooted in perception rather than reality. Our minds tend to magnify situations, conjuring up worst-case scenarios that seldom materialize. Fear can distort challenges, making them appear insurmountable and convincing us we lack the ability to overcome them. However, when you pause to analyze your fears, you often find they are inflated. For example, you might dread others' judgment, but in truth, most people are too preoccupied with their own lives to scrutinize yours. By questioning the stories you've built around your fears, you can start to perceive them more rationally and manageably. Another approach to facing fears is to change how you interpret them. Rather than viewing fear as a negative force, consider it a sign that you're on the brink of growth. You're on the verge of doing something that pushes your boundaries. If you weren't moving beyond what's comfortable, fear wouldn't even arise. So in a sense, fear is an indicator that you're moving the right way. When you shift your perspective like this, fear stops being about dodging discomfort and starts being about embracing the possibilities waiting beyond it. One effective method for conquering fear is visualization. This approach means mentally practicing the scenarios that intimidate you, picturing yourself handling them with ease. Visualization lessens fear's grip by turning the unfamiliar into something more recognizable. For instance, if public speaking makes you nervous, imagine yourself delivering your speech smoothly, responding to questions effortlessly, and getting encouraging reactions. By visualizing success again and again, you lessen the dread tied to the actual event and feel more ready when it arrives. Building resilience is another key part of confronting fear. Resilience is your capacity to recover from setbacks, and it's what keeps you moving forward even when fear tries to stop you. Life is full of unpredictability, and fear often surfaces when we're unsure of what's coming. But resilience gives you the assurance that no matter the outcome, you'll have the strength to manage it. Cultivating resilience takes effort. It comes from tackling difficulties, growing from failures, and strengthening your mental endurance. The more resilient you are, the less power fear holds over your choices and actions. Don't underestimate the power of support when facing. You don't have to do this alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, trust in your potential, and offer clarity when fear distorts your thinking. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or a coach, having a support network can provide the encouragement and drive you need to stand up to your fears. Occasionally, simply sharing your fears with another person can offer a fresh perspective and make you feel better prepared to manage them. Confronting your fears is a crucial step in rebuilding yourself. It demands bravery, determination, and a readiness to venture into uncertainty. Yet the benefits are profound. Each time you face a fear, you become stronger, more self-assured, and more competent. You start to believe in yourself and your capacity to navigate life's challenges. By learning to stand up to fear, you unleash your potential and lay the groundwork for meaningful, enduring change. Self-discipline is the foundation of personal development and achievement. It fuels your ability to remain focused, steady, and devoted to your objectives, even when obstacles arise. Without self-discipline, rebuilding yourself turns into a constant struggle. Transformation demands continuous effort and commitment over time. Initial motivation may surge when you decide to make changes, but without discipline, that drive often dwindles, leaving you trapped in old habits. The capacity to stay disciplined is what distinguishes those who attain lasting success from those who fall behind. Self-discipline means making choices aligned with your long-term aspirations rather than fleeting impulse. It's the strength to postpone instant rewards and keep your eyes on the broader vision, even when shortcuts seem appealing. This could involve forgoing short-term comforts for greater future gains, like opting to study or complete a project instead of socializing, or sticking to an exercise routine despite lacking motivation. Discipline is the power to stay anchored to what truly matters, even when distractions arise. One essential part of self-discipline is steadiness. Steadiness is what enables minor efforts to build into meaningful advancement over time. When you're reshaping yourself, it's not about drastic shifts happening instantly. It's about persistent steps toward your objectives daily. Whether enhancing your well-being, developing a new ability, or refining your mindset, steadiness generates forward motion. Many lose motivation because they anticipate immediate outcomes, but genuine change requires patience. Self-discipline keeps you enduring and dedicated to the journey, recognizing that each modest move brings you nearer to your aim. Cultivating self-discipline begins with grasping your reason, why you're striving to rebuild. What drives you fundamentally? When your purpose is firm, discipline feels more natural because you're not just following duty. You're acting in harmony with your core beliefs and ambitions. This purpose acts as your compass, keeping you directed even when challenges arise. It's simple to slip into the habit of discipline without meaning, but when your reason is clear, every effort carries greater significance and intention. Self-discipline also requires efficient time management. Time is your most precious asset, and how you allocate it directly shapes your achievements. Without discipline, hours slip away on pursuits that don't foster progress, like endless social media browsing, excessive TV, or delaying crucial tasks. Conversely, disciplined people prioritize their time, concentrating on what genuinely counts. They establish systems and practices that align with their aims and adhere to them, even when distractions beckon. Defining precise goals is another critical factor in self-discipline. With concrete, trackable targets, staying disciplined is simpler because your direction is unmistakable. Unclear or ambiguous goals, however, weaken concentration and drive. For instance, rather than stating, "I want to get fit," a disciplined alternative would be, "I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week." The clearer and more precise your goals are, the simpler it becomes to maintain discipline as you have a well-defined path to follow. One of the toughest hurdles in self-discipline is battling procrastination. Procrastination is a frequent barrier that stops individuals from making steady progress toward their objectives. It's tempting to delay tasks, particularly when they seem daunting or unappealing, but putting things off only slows advancement and adds unnecessary pressure. To combat procrastination, breaking tasks into smaller, achievable parts is crucial. This approach makes taking action less intimidating because instead of fixating on the entire challenge, you concentrate on the immediate next move. Each small accomplishment fuels momentum, reinforcing discipline over time. Self-discipline also involves emotional control. Emotional discipline means maintaining focus and calmness even under stress, frustration, or discouragement. While emotions can drive motivation, they may also divert attention. When emotions steer your choices, impulsive decisions that conflict with long-term aims become more likely. For instance, exhaustion or stress might make skipping a workout or quitting a project seem justified, but self-discipline enables you to persevere despite these emotional hurdles, keeping you dedicated to your goals in any circumstance. Accountability plays another vital role in strengthening self-discipline. Staying disciplined is far easier when someone else monitors your efforts, whether a mentor, coach, or a supportive friend or relative. Knowing that someone is tracking your progress adds an extra incentive to remain disciplined. Accountability fosters responsibility and helps sustain focus when personal motivation falters. Beyond external accountability, self-accountability is equally important. This involves consistently evaluating your own progress, looking back on your achievements and challenges while adapting as necessary. One of the most effective ways to strengthen self-discipline is through building habits. Habits are routine actions that demand minimal conscious thought. By turning beneficial behaviors into habits, they integrate seamlessly into your everyday life, helping you maintain discipline effortlessly in the long run. For instance, if your goal is to establish a daily reading habit, begin with just 10 minutes each day. Eventually, those 10 minutes will feel natural, and you can slowly extend the duration as the habit solidifies. The secret to forming habits lies in repetition, performing the same action at the same time daily until it becomes automatic. Self-discipline also involves nurturing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the conviction that your skills and intelligence can improve through dedication and learning. With this perspective, you're more inclined to remain disciplined, recognizing that progress requires patience and persistence. Obstacles and difficulties don't discourage you. Instead, you view them as chances to learn and improve. This outlook keeps you resilient and focused on your objectives, even when faced with setbacks. It encourages you to embrace discipline with curiosity and perseverance rather than fear or irritation. Self-discipline serves as the cornerstone of personal growth. It demands maintain consistency and dedicate yourself to sustained progress by knowing your purpose, using time wisely, defining precise objectives, defeating delay, and nurturing a mindset geared toward growth. This is how you build the self-discipline required to reinvent yourself. The path isn't effortless, but through steady effort and determination, self-discipline becomes the tool that unleashes your greatest abilities and secures enduring achievement. Reinventing yourself is a process that calls for mental toughness, self-control, and a well-defined direction. It's not about seeking approval from others or temporary solutions. It's about gaining command over your thoughts, facing your limitations, and pledging to continual improvement. Self-discipline fuels this change, keeping you anchored to your bigger ambitions, even when obstacles arise. By treating failures as lessons, organizing your priorities and reinforcing routines that match your aspirations, you can redesign a life marked by intention, grit, and satisfaction. Master your own mind first, and you'll have the power to rebuild every part of your existence.